Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Sergeant Major.
Great to see you.
Good to see you too.
2020 has been a hectic year, to say the least.
Oh, it has. I don't even know where 2020 went. This year has gone by so fast. It's just been a snap, and here we are. We're almost into September.
Yes, COVID, homeschooling, kids back to school. It's just been crazy.
It has been.
Where's the summer gone?
Absolutely, and just an emotional one too. Just so many different pieces. I mean, it has really, I think 2020 has exhausted all of us.
It's a roller coaster, some very highs and some very lows.
Yes, absolutely. You know, looking at that, and you think of all the roads and that, I just think how fortunate we are as service members that, you know, we've had all this resiliency training over the years, you know, that I think is something that we can hone in as uniformed folks, you know, that we've had this training to kind of deal with some of the ups and downs that have been happening this year.
Yes. You know, September's coming upon us here in another day or two. It's Suicide Prevention Month.
It is, and boy, do we have a action-packed month with suicide prevention, with messaging and events for our service members as well as our families going on.
You know, North Dakota National Guard just doesn't concentrate on suicide on just September. You know, we concentrate on suicide prevention all year long.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, and with this September 2020, we actually have Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. There's a theme this year, and our theme this year is #ConnectToProtect.
The North Dakota National Guard partners with North Dakota Human Services for zero suicide prevention with the #BeThere.
I think that is just fantastic because, as we know, being part of the North Dakota National Guard, we are in every community across North Dakota, and to partner with somebody like the North Dakota Department of Human Services is key. As a partner, we can hit all of our service members that are in all communities here. So it's a wonderful collaboration, and just you know, bringing that forward with the month of September as well as all year long, like you said earlier.
What are the steps? What are the suicidal warning signs? What do you do if someone, you know, has thoughts?
Well, you know, what we do is we have this handy dandy card here, and the first step of that is to ask. You know, so if you're in a situation and you have a soldier or an airman for that matter that, you know, you just sense something's not quite right, don't be afraid to ask. You know, ask them, hey, are you thinking of taking your life? Is something not right? You know, just showing that genuine compassion, you know, means a lot. Just that human interaction. And after you ask, listen and provide care. That's C. C is part of ACE. So care by actively listening and showing that concern. And finally, the last step of that is escort. And that is after you've asked the question, you've listened, you've talked, let's get somebody that can help with the situation, a professional, and we will escort them to get that care that is needed. And these are the safety precautions that service members and leaders within the North Dakota National Guard are trained on.
You know, I noticed that several soldiers have talked to me about their buddy having a bad day on social media. And, you know, they did just that. They called them on the phone and asked them how they were doing and listened and cared for what they were doing. And in a couple cases, they actually were on the phone with them and drove to their friend's house to be with them. So it's certainly amazing how much the training provides the intervention for our soldiers in the North Dakota National Guard.
Absolutely. You know, and it's just not our soldiers, it's our families that receive that training too. And so some of these partnerships that we have with Department of Human Services, where we talk about, you know, assist training and our ACE training that, you know, I had mentioned earlier. And it's, you know, I think alone last year, I think we had at least 4 ideations that I'm aware of is where we had intervention by either service members or family members that saved a life.
Yeah, it's we have a pretty good record. It's been since 2017 since we've had an actual suicide. So Our record is really good, but it's something that we have to continue to work on. You know, people do have ideations, and sometimes it's just, you know, a spur of the moment issue they're dealing with.
You know, I've heard some of the data that's out there that, you know, it can be as quick as somebody having a suicidal thought, and within 10 minutes can take action on that. And that's why it's very critical that if you have the mechanisms in your home or where you live to complete a suicidal act, that you have weapons that are locked up, they're put, you know, in a gun safe, that you have ammunition in another location, or the weapon isn't loaded, as well as using a gun lock on that particular weapon, as well as we've talked about some medications too, that if you know, you do have medications that if they're no longer in use, to dispose of them properly, or as well put them under some type of lock and key.
Yes, the North Dakota or the National Guard has a higher average than DOD average, so it's really important that we make sure that we take the steps to care for our soldiers and family members that are in a situation. What resources do we have available for suicide and suicide prevention? I know North Dakota has, the state has 211 First Link as part of theirs. The National Guard also offers several options as well, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is, and 211, that is a phenomenal link, and you know, that's right here in North Dakota. There's always options as well, you know, to call 911, but we do have a suicide prevention office right here in the North Dakota National Guard, and they're some of the ones that are going to be providing some of these awareness activities during Suicide Prevention Month here. I know as well there's a National Veterans and Military Crisis Hotline, and you know, that number is 1-800-273-8255, and you can press 1 for military, and that'll get you immediate help as well in any type of situations, as well as using our staff right here that are part of the Suicide Prevention Office.
Yes, we have full-time chaplains that are available around the clock. They'll even stay with the soldier or the family member if they need help. We also have some social workers across the state, and we also have the R3SP program, which helps soldiers and airmen if they should need with follow-on care.
And I think the key and the message that we really, you know, need to emphasize out there is that, you know, we all have bumps on the road and things don't always go right, you know, and that we have these resources, these resilient tools that we're taught through training and that type of thing, that you know, that it's okay to ask for help. That, you know, I know there's a state campaign of hashtag reduce the stigma, and you know, and that it's okay, and that if you need help, ask for help. You know, your life is important to us, and you're part of our team. You're part of us being a ready force, and we need you on our team.
The strength of our organization is the people, absolutely. So there's nobody that is going to come down on you to ask for help and seek behavioral treatment. It's like you said, hashtag end the stigma is just what we need to do to take care of our people. You know, and I look at it as I can trust somebody more if they're willing to seek help rather than if they're willing to hide it. You know, because we all have, I have, you know, as a senior leader, I have bad days. I know you have your bad days, and we can sit down like this and talk and socialize and get through it together. So everybody has somebody to reach out to. You know, we need to, even as, you know, it's not just the E5 or the E4, it's all the way up to the general level and the sergeant major level. So
we all need our battle buddies, and you know, as we were talking earlier about 2020, and 2020 just by its own right has been such a challenging year. You throw COVID into this situation. You put teleworking, is kids homeschooling, and now going back to school, and there's all these unknowns, and folks are talking, how long will they be in school? We don't know, and what's going to happen, and so all of these unknowns, I think, create anxiety in everyone, and it's totally appropriate and okay if you need help to ask for help,
With all the COVID and not being able to drill this year, we spent a lot of time talking to our sergeant majors and our platoon sergeants and our first sergeants to make sure that they're getting down there to the lowest level. And the squad leaders have really been taking charge of making sure that they know how their soldiers are doing. If they had lost their job or they need a little help or if they need somebody around. So it's been a really successful year that way. Of being able to communicate, even though we haven't been able to get together.
Oh, that's just, that's one thing, is just with the technologies and those things that are available to us, and using your chain of command, and knowing that everybody's empowered and to help, that you just don't have to be that squad leader. We all know when we're in these small groups and we're tasked with a mission set, whatever it might be, that if somebody isn't, you can sense something's not quite right with somebody, that you take the time and ask that individual, hey, what's going on? Are you doing okay? And elaborating, hey, this is going on with me too, and to understand that they're definitely not alone, and that they do have their chain of command and folks that are, willing to, support them, and just as we talked as well, to break the barriers to any type of stigma. And just over the years, I've seen that too, just the difference in how we're able to talk and communicate about sometimes these difficult topics, and the training that's happening in the resiliency world with our service members, and just, constant messaging, and I know earlier, you talked about some of the national statistics with suicide happening, and nationally, the National Guard is pretty high with our suicide numbers, and that, we have to always be ready to identify anybody that may have those thoughts, ideations, whatever it might be, and that we can utilize that training that we've learned to constantly, make a difference. Right. And every life matters, Right.
You made a great point about leaders at every level, and the National Guard is such a family. We don't just spend one weekend a month together. We often spend time at schools with our children, at football practice, and we become neighbors in our communities and stuff. So it's very important to, just have those talks and make sure that you ask and see how people are doing. Because we, the Guard is a family, yes, but we're also a family outside of the Guard, a lot of times where some of the relationships you build in the Guard become lifelong relationships and aren't just, like I said, one weekend a month. So
we're all part of the community, those communities that we live in, and to be a part of that and be a part of the National Guard and to look out for one another. It's just, we're truly blessed with the family that we have, both our immediate family as well as our extended military family. Sergeant Major, I know with our resiliency training and that we do throughout the year, one of the caveats of that is really having self-awareness and, the ability to identify in yourself, when you're hitting some of these hard times. Do you have any situations or experiences dealing with soldiers, or thoughts on that? Or
I've always thought of me as being an approachable person, and I've always encouraged others to be approached and caring for people, because people are our number one asset. I've had experience where a soldier came up to me from another platoon when I was a platoon sergeant, and we sat down and had a conversation. And he was a little nervous to talk to his own platoon sergeant because he thought that they would, you know, be a little tougher on him because it was one of his soldiers. So he did have some issues, and we talked about it, and we sat down, and we got him help. And his platoon sergeant was more disappointed that he didn't come to him to ask for help than he was that he came to me to ask for help. He was like, God, you know, like we're a brotherhood, we're a team. You can come to me for anything. So I think that's the biggest portion of the stigma out there, is that, you know, you want to take care of your soldiers the best that you can, and don't ever think that if you need help by going to your leader that it's going to look as a sign of weakness, because it's not. They're going to appreciate the fact that you trust them enough to bring your most intimate issues to them and help them, because we've all been through it. We've all been through tough times. We've all, you know, whether we broke up with a boyfriend or girlfriend, or whether we had a parent or a grandparent die, or whatever we're going through, that soldier, that leader, has probably been through that also and can help you deal with that. So don't ever, you know, ever think that it's bad to go to your leader or to another soldier and to talk about that, because, you know, we've all gone through tough times.
You know, going back and just thinking over the years, different situations that I've been involved with soldiers, and, you know, coming forward with their concerns and that. And I've always looked at it as, you know, just having that resilience and that self-awareness, and, you know, you have an important mission on this planet, whatever that might be, but also within your service to the North Dakota National Guard, and you're part of that team, and we need you part of that team when we're called upon to do our state or federal mission, and to recognize that, and to treat whatever needs to be treated. It's no different than when you have a physical injury, you know. Sometimes you know, you're getting on the sidelines, getting some repair done, whatever that might be. You blow out a knee or you twist an ankle, and you got to watch, but you're getting back in the game, and mental health is no different, and stigma should not be associated with that, and it's just doing the right thing to take care of yourself, your team, your family, and doing the best job that you can within your community, state, and nation. Well, Sergeant Major, we're here at the end of August, moving into September, and I just really want to remind folks about ACE, and that is to ask, care, and escort. And remember our theme for the month of September, which is #ConnectToProtect.